Hello. Before I begin, I just need to point out that if you haven't played Heroine's Quest yet, you really should do so before listening to this, as I'm about to give away roughly 90% of the game. It's available for free and well worth your time. I'll include the relevant links in the description below. The wrath of winter slackens not for spring. Snow falls unceasing to blanket in bleakness. Fimbulwinter, Ragnarok heralding, foisting despair and fostering weakness. Yet ere all fortitude falls to the freeze, a traveller tackles the treacherous tracks. Her high hope, a hailed heroine to be, and answers a call to halt winter's attack. At once peril pursues her, the two pates and half-brain between them of Thrivoldi, chief of trolls, who watches unsubtle and waits for the moment for malice to be meet. When it comes, he causes a cascade. Snow charges to smother the shield maiden. He leaves aloof for the looming dawn's light, supposing the sun sets humans in stone. The wanderer wakes, wasted and weakened. Found in the frost, she fares fairer midst friends. Roland the smith saw her made safe and tended. The stranger's first test, starvation to mend. By spear, by sagacity, by sugared tongue, by one or by one other she obtains food enough to see fatal famine undone, succour sufficient for starvation to wane. Within the walls she walks whilst awake, naught much she needs, nor is needed that night. Vornsigtuna's jovial, joyous it japes, till dawn delivers directions and deeds. Come morning the maiden is met by the Jarl's men. They ask her attend their master ere all. She goes, and is greeted by good Jarl Ylfing. Sage Orvendel too hails her in the hall. The task is taken up, the bold heart true. At once the otherworldly oracles, the Norns, who've woven the world's ways like wool, reveal and regale, rhetorical. The suffocating surfeit of winter is numinous called by a Jotun king. Fettered in his fortress, he finally stirs to make manifest Midgard's unmaking. Horrors heed him, harrying to herald the fate that Fimbulwinter must foretell, the calamity that comes after the cold, the gods' twilight, the last tale to tell. Only one obstructs obliteration, she who hearkens, she who fain hight heroine. Lest she save all shall be shorn. Lest she endless Egther, 'tis everything's end. Her first forays to the forest turn violent. Brigands abound, bellicose and brutal. Vargs vile and feral sniff out her scent. They press and they pain her, but perish all. Resting through the night and recovering, she has sent a subtle summons in her sleep, a vision of fury and of fighting twixt a Vikinger and foul Thrivoldi. With the morn she moves southwards with all speed, searching for Sigurd who she saw whilst asleep, the warrior who fared foul against Thrivoldi, left wounded and fading in the white wastes. A Vordor helps her find fallen Sigurd. She helps him home, where he's hurriedly hale, to Minervagir, small but not meagre. Steadfast it stays, though by winter assailed. The people persevere through perils and pains, and through the ordinary strife of life. Not a one wilts as the world seems to wane, not one retreats though ruination grows rife. In gratitude, Sigurd's saviour is gifted with the finest fare, and a room given free, though with sleep her window shutters are shifted, her possessions are purloined by a thief. Enraged, she entertains no entreatment to forget and forego a fitting hunt. She would crack the thieves' concealment and render a response, beastly and blunt. The trail terminates in a dark room, with subtle strangeness in how it is set. Her cunning uncovers its concealed clues, till by the ladder to the thieves' lair she's met. Here, strangely, our tale has two tellings of what was done down in the thieves' den. One says when she came conquering. One says the thieves tested her, and she joined them. Whichever is right, her gear she regains. The cut-purse is all cowed, or else comrades. Formidable metal she has displayed, the bedrock of a heroine's high fame. As darkness dithers, determined she drives, pitting her powers 'gainst shadowed perils. 'Gainst dreadful trolls and restless dead she vies, as cold assaults her, but she confounds all. Elsewhile, to the east of Vornsigtuna, eager young eyes behold a prize in a tree, a sword for one whose honour has no peer, beheld by the hopeful eyes of young Jaime. He is the son of Roland the stout smith, whose hands wrought Balmung, the blade and the bark. To one day wield the weapon is his wish. Oft he looks on it, but now heeds not the dark. As he starts off for home and safety, a wretched shape shambles up to waylay him. It is the two-headed troll Threvaldi, who requires the boy for a bargain grim. The meagre morning reaches Manavagir, the shield maiden sets out once more, wending her way north and west to Fornsigtuna, where she finds Jaime's absence felt most sore. She seeks out the smith and his wife Hervor, who is furiously afraid for her son. She swears to seek out Jaime and not stall nor detour till he's home and this fright is done. Her searching first finds Jaime's wooden weapon. At once she asks sage Orvandel for aid. The wooden sword forms a focus, and a strong trail is shown to where Jaime now stays. If she feigned to save the blacksmith's stripling, then to a different world she must wander, to and through Svartalfheim's dark depths delving. It makes wits wane, though this does not daunt her. She seeks answers from any and all around, and soon learns of a ring of standing stones, through which the roads to other realms are found, so long as the right ritual is shown. From various folk snippets she snatches, of what must be wrought to open the way. Her labours are long, but all lore she catches, hopeful her heroism can carry the day. She touches each runestone as required, walking only widowshins as is meet. Lastly she offers the mead that's desired, and thus once more the three Norns does she greet. They demand she justify her decision. They forbid any frivolous foray. She makes plain her mission's fine precision, and no more neath Midgard's sun does she stay. Brightness is banished, the snow is no more. Stark and serpentine run Svartalfheim's caves, with hazards and harriers there in store. Every corner could lead to an evil grave. Bands of warlike Durgard allay her steps. Swaggering Svartalf sorcerers strike at her. Trolls run rampant here with no sun to detest. These and worse through the stony caves do stir. Yet hers past doubt is a heroine's heart. Hers is valour befitting a Valkyrie. She overcomes all through her warring arts, till the steps of Nidavellir she sees. This is the city of the Svartalfar, wrought from mad magics and machinery. One with a meatless mind will not make it far, nor any folk much fond of gravity. She is given goodly welcome by most. Humans are few here, though visitors are not. But there is not time to trade tales and boast, for Jaime is here, the trail is hot. To a stark, secluded section she sneaks. There she finds the blacksmith's boy behind stone bars, guarded by one great in praise for gallantry, hight Skrymir, most stalwart of Svartalfar. To overcome so awful an obstacle is a true test of her strength and skill, but her might, be it martial or mental, sees the battle won. Hers was the greater will. Defeated in duty, Skrymir departs. Jaime, hale and glad of heart, is set free. The boy is in awe of his saviour's art, but now they must speed to the stones and not tarry. The ancient magic moves them to Midgard, to face the Fimbulvinter's foulest fare. A blizzard blasts them, their way home is barred. Lest they escape, doom and death shall find them there. But she has not strived and suffered so much, nor sworn an oath to make safe Voland's son, to yield to cold's calamitous clutch. They'd defy disaster ere the day was done. With straightforward sense, a path they soon see. Through the blizzard she bears the boy on her back. On she walks, though wounded sore and weary, her fortitude falters against winter's attack. At last she falls face first in the fell freeze. Her strength is spent, her senses are scattered. But this is not the end, for the smith sees her and Jaime both, and bears them both home. Once more she wakes, warm and well accompanied, in Fornsigtuna's guild hall. She's met with joy from all, and all talk in town is of how she braved the blackest pit to save the blacksmith's boy. She walked hence through winter, fame and glory to win. Though steered by fate, her own prowess has proved that she deserves to be hailed heroine. Though all's not ended, the true threat's not yet removed. Hervor advises the heroine to head north and east, where lies entranced in sleep endless Brynhild the Valkyrie, who bears the vengeance of Odin One Eye to answer an offence. Brynhild took a mortal man for a mate, a forbidden thing, for thus she is ta'en from the waking world, for thus she must wait amidst an encircling prison of flame. Her mortal lover, meanwhile, was made to forget each fair and fine memory of love and lover both, thus lonely she stays. If he remembered, he would have her freed. The heroine seeks out the sleeping Brynhild, yet the forest roads are rendered fouler. Giants now gather, Ecgthe's ranks to fill, for the final fight in the world's final hours. 3 different breeds now roam the roadways. One is the grey, shambling and stony-skinned Bear Greasy. What they snatch they squeeze and slay, bold and mickle of brawn, still their brains are dim. Smouldering too stand the sons of Muspel, creatures formed all of freakish fell fire. To know them is to know the world's coming knell, one day shall they make of the world a pyre. Lastly come the lordly race of Jotun, the ice giants are enticed to Ecgthe's side, to champion the cause of destruction, to fight so fiercely that Midgard must die. Formidable, but not invincible, none who challenge the heroine can kill her. What presumes itself indestructible may form a fine crow's feast, dead on the dirt. She reaches the Valkyrie in raging flames. She compels the circle to admit her. She shakes Brynhild free of her sleeping bane. The fallen Valkyrie once more does stir. From her the heroine hears the whole tale, the evil history and hopes of Ecgthe. Foremost she discovers a dread detail, 2 treasures to take, Ragnarok to earn. It is the eyes of Thiassi he sought, only these could end his ensnaring hex. The eyes would unleash him, then would be wrought the final fray, all creation to vex. And yet, to end the threat, Thiassi's eyes must crack the gate of great Gastropnir keep. Fimbulvinter won't falter till Ecgthe dies. Lest he falls, all shall soon be slaughtered like sheep. She learns that one eye lies in Manavagir, kept as safe as may be by stout Sigurd. The second is secured in Fornsigtuna, by Voland it was initially interred. It was when Thrivaldi took his firstborn so to trade the boy for Thiassi's eye. He thought it wise his watchfulness be shorn, that with Orvandel it would better bide. Both guardians do not gladly give voice to the matter, let alone make a gift of their charges. Each demand the people's choice as the price for each powerful eye to lift. 4 citizens from each burg must vouch for her. 4 must believe past doubt she can prevail, that she can become Midgard's saviour, that by her hand Ecgthe's harm shall fail. First she fain prove her grit to each guardian, sage Orvandel first, who has for her a quest, to drive from Fornsigtuna's gate back to its den, a hogbury. This is the heroine's test. At night she sets forth, and soon she sees it, a shadowed spectre shrieking and striking. The battle is bitter, but she beats it. Quick as a flash the frightful foe flees, screaming. The heroine hunts it back to its earth hole, where chill-struck cadavers clamour to clout her. They trouble her not one is even whole. Once hewn, the hogbury once more flees her. The lore of this lifeless thing she has read, and she's equipped to end its existence. She has glimpsed its grave, to it she was led. Now she can deal it death without resistance. She digs through snow and sod till she strikes bone. These remains she roasts till they're rendered ash. She bears these to the lake, and there they're blown away, and in this way her foes dispatched. Orvandel's trust she then attains, and also a draught of the Aita, dread doom to dispel. Next to Sigurd she must find a way to show her merit and her might and her mettle. Fortunately, she may have found a way, as her conversing with the captive Brynhild suggested Sigurd herself as her swain. His ransacked mind needs must now be refilled. A roundabout path this shall prove to be, for 'tis Odin's own will she must overcome. Back to Svartalfheim and Skrymir her path leads, with new challenges to be countered and won. The way to the sunless realm of the Svartalfar now lies afore her as an open door. She may peruse as she pleases this world bizarre, and discover what darkness is therein stored. Investigations and inquiries alluded to, perhaps, an antidote. Skrymir, also an artful alchemist, may well have perfected a potion of note. He mentions the fabled mead of poetry, the mead of the mind which Odin purloined. The mead would mend Sigurd's mind and memories. This would help earn the eye, along with his joy. She challenges Skrymir to a fitting contest. Her Iter is wagered against the mead. The heroine faces 3 twisted tests, not a one is at all as it does seem. A contest of speed, another of appetite, or are they doomed fights? Cunning must be twisted, improvisation, else devastation. Finally, inevitably, fighting. The fight that cannot be fought forever, though significance lies in the striving. Her valour sees her vouchsafed victory. The wager is won, a reward most worthy, a prize snatched by Odin from sly Suttung. Hers has become the meed of poetry, to mend meddled memories in a mind stung. To Manavagir once more she seeks Sigurd. At her urging he drinks the deity's draught. To his brain Brynhild's visage is returned. He makes for a flaming cage, forthright and fast. The fire fades when he finds his forgotten love. Their curses are cast out, they can now be free. His home and his heart he does gladly devove. Beside her beloved is where she longs to be. Fortunate proves her freedom, for a force of vulgar trolls and giants have gathered. They come for carnage, Manavagir their course, to snatch the eye and see all which stands burn. The heroine, the Valkyrie, the hero, the healer, the shopkeeper, the street girl. These 6 stalwarts sally forth to smite the foe, and thwart fool Thrivaldi, Egthar's house churl. It is he who has led his force of louts here. It is he who stands back whilst they battle. It is he whose confidence fast fades for fear, as his soldiers are smote and the sacking turns ill. The heroine claims for herself a Jotun head. The others dispatch their own opponents. Egthar's assault is ended, his nose is bled, and with one more wound is wintry despair rent. The quest must continue with the coming morn. The heroine must still prove herself to most. In high honour she must be swiftly adorned. Of her daring and deeds must all have cause to boast. Jarl Ylfing she chances upon in Jarnvadir, ensnared and enraptured by a huldra. The tree troll tries to entrance the trespasser, but stares in a mirror and thus snares herself. Returned to the rightful rule of his realm, the Jarl speaks of how for Jaime he searched, but fell lost, and amidst the pines and elms was bewitched by the beast whose back is birch. He tells his rescuer to name her reward. Selfless she asks him to set loose a sneak hight Kraka, who sought to steal from the lord. Instead imprisoned she sits, her future bleak. The Jarl grants this boon, and the girl goes free. The heroine hoards more trust and friendship. Through these meritorious trials and deeds, the eyes she needs draw nearer to her grip. Lif and Lithrazir, life and life eager. Should Ragnarok see Midgard ruined and razed, in Hodmimi's holt these 2 shall endure. So Lenorn's wove, so shall be the lover's fate. One from Fornsigtuna, one Manavagir. Once before they met, at once each heart was hooked. Though twixt cold and creatures, they could not court for fear, thus ardently for assistance they looked. Happily the heroine agreed to aid. Simply this started, strangely it ended. First a lover's letter to Lif she conveyed. Lif's hope through Lithrazir's letter is tended. He asks the heroine find flowers in the frost, and then to lay them before Lithrazir. For this task, 2 of the 9 worlds must be crossed, and from stone must be set free Thor's prisoner. Fimbulvinter leaves Flora forsaken. All that may be found arrived from Asgard, held by Atri, a Svartalf salesman, trading tales and trinkets from the worlds. Flowers that may withstand winter's withering are part of his piecemeal collection. In trade he requests she track down his missing friend Alvis, who earned Thor's terrible vexation. He sought for Thrud, Thor's daughter, to be his bride. Ere the wedding, Thor delayed him till daybreak. Thus as a stone statue the Svartalf must bide, till the heroine comes, his curse to break. By the light of the moon she finds the stone he has become, and through the Iter she ends his imprisonment. Flesh freed, his will his own, ere sun stops him to the runestone circle he wends. The flowers are gladly given as reward, and gifted to Lithrazir, who would walk now with an escort to the snow-clad sward to meet Lif, for love in each heart's now locked. There they both meet, and there they both embrace. Winter is at once cast out of the holt. All is made green and gartered in spring's grace. Egthar's end of things endures one more jolt. Next comes Snorri, Jarl Ylfing's scoundrel captain, stalwart yet scandalous, scheming yet stout. To prove herself to him, she must obtain victory against him in an archery bout. Snorri makes her a masterful marksman, but 'tis far from the heroine's forte. Her wits must work well to win against the captain, but this they do, and thus more trust she gains. Next there is a man from Menavagir, ancient in age, not long left ere Niflheim. Yet now his old days down dark paths are steered, so he'll stay, lest his cat return alive. 'Tis simple to say, what challenge, what purpose, feeble foolishness in the heroine's quest. Why would she waste time with a wayward puss whilst the days stay dark and filled with distress? But what manner of mortal would malign the dwindling days of a troubled old man? What heroine has no heart to be kind, and seeing sadness, suffer it to stand? The cat she corners, not far into the forest. It bolts to a branch too flimsy to follow, but the lure of salt herring it shan't resist. Thus she catches it, and stops the man's sorrow. Kindness she also shows to the rancid rodent Ratatosk, the squirrel of deadliest doom. Peerless in malice, misshapen, cruel bent, at least to itself, to others 'tis a goon. Time after time it scampers towards her, looking to do mischief to out Loki, but bearing above all belligerent bluster, its feeble schemes fail and soon it flees. Later, near a lake, she finds him lamenting, resigned now to his ridiculousness. She aids through counsel, his aims amending. Doom becomes bloom, planting supplants vileness. Next our tale turns to the arch-thief Regan, a Svartalf in man's shape who found sanctuary in Menavagir, made to dwell therein when his kinslaying brother forced him to flee. Fafnir, his brother, a foul, faithless fool, slew their own father all for a treasure. Regan attempted to avenge this cruel act, but lacked the strength to make Fafnir's end sure. Safe from the sun, he seeks the heroine's aid, to do what he did not, avenge his father, to strike down his snake brother, and once slain, return forthwith with his father's treasure. Fafnir was the first she met in Nidavellir. His pride was past question, but his evil not so. He marks Regan as their kin's murderer, and offers like quest, the brother to lay low. Uncertain she is of the truth of things, she cannot unleash either's guts on a guess, yet the truth is ta'en in the cave shining, the cause of revenge must soon be put to rest. A chest she uncovers, 'tis Regan's rare prize. At once Fafnir comes to the cave he's claimed, he commands her, give Earl a chest, else he'll prize it from her, after a death of peerless pain. She who has striven through Svartalfheim is not intimidated by this irritant. In Lindworm's shape he strikes, but she'll not die, instead she destroys the damned deviant. Regan rejoices when comes her return. Jubilant he thanks her for bringing justice, and provides a princely gift for all she's done, a statue which shifts to a steed sure and swift. Next there comes Sigrun, a steadfast shopkeeper, who mourns one hight Helgi, her slain husband, who fell in battle with her own brother, who himself across from him is interred. As chance, or the Norn's narrative would have it, a trade with Atri procured a power, through an artifact the dead to admit, for some meaningful moments, back to Midgard. With Sigrun's permission, she searches his grave and draws forth the spirit of Helgi to her. To be once more with his wife is what he craves, to bid proper goodbye and heal her hurts. Through his skull, the heroine sees him to Sigrun, then leaves the two be, perchance to find peace. When next she sees her, much pain is undone. Sigrun's grief is greatly and gently eased. Last in the list of the heroine's helps is ailing Arngrim, abandoned, alone. A proud adventurer not long hence, till sickness sentenced him to die all too slow. The heroine visits him oft in her quests, their talks taught her much and lessened his plight. Even so, he seems certain to suffer the rest of time entombed amidst Niflheim's blights. And yet a gift to grant the god's own health comes unhoped for to him from the heroine, an apple of Idun, exceeding all wealth by the Norns as her reward was given. Yet Arngrim has need of it while she has none, for she is at the height of her hardiness. He eats, and sickness is shorn, despair shunned, by the Aesir's power his body is blessed. And through him the heroine has all she needs, the trust and the friendship of enough to earn the frightful eyes of fallen Thiassi, the fate of Midgard, one way or t'other to turn. Each guardian of each eye gives theirs to her, and resting till nightfall, she's ready to raid the terrible keep of the Jotun Egther, his cold, craven head to sever and claim. But first Vivaldi tries to thwart her once more, standing twixt her and grim Gastropnir keep. She soon fells this foe in the manner of Thor snaring Alvis, stalling him whilst the sun creeps. Too late they realise what's befallen. They plead to their master for protection, but the sun strikes them. Nothing more is heard then, each frozen stone dome displaying dejection. Every inch of Gastropnir is ghastly. The dread dragon's head grins down from the gate, but the heroine's heart falters not easily. She'll fight to the finish, though the foe be great. Once within, Egther emerges to greet her, massive and monstrous, master of the ice. Full of rage his hellish voice roars at her, swearing that she and the world shall die in a trice. By force of will he bids the floor shatter neath her. Down she falls and comes face to face with Fenrir. He who'll eat the moon, he who maimed the war wager, looks on her with a hungry, snarling leer. As the beast is fettered, so too bound by fate. The heroine cannot kill it, no human can. Yet her fate is not one foul stomach to sate, and her demise too is not there at hand. When all is over, she ascends out the pit, with Fenrir smashed into stupefied slumber. Only one path lies open, she follows it, and the strangest strangeness she discovers. At the end of a long hall, herself she sees, stood before a portal. Perplexed she pauses, till her double delivers words which rally her own self's wits. Consistency she causes. She steps through a portal, to time not yet come, to fallen Fornsigtuna set afire, ransacked by the war Ragnarok sees done. It shall be, should she lose, all lifeless and dire. She takes from a tarrying troll 2 treasures, an apple seed, more than it seems, and a key. She deigns not dither in this future perverse, and passes through the portal, the past to please. In Hodmami's holt the heroine emerges, yet young and unfinished the ground does look. The stout stone gazebo is a work in progress. In the river, a ruby she took lies unhooked. She plants the apple seed where a tree shall be, the one which will sprout Idun's apples of gold. With all haste then, back to the present goes she, leaving the lush holt to grow peacefully old. She returns to the icy hall she lately left, and sees once again herself staring stunned. Repeating precisely what was past, then deft she heads forth to see Egther fall, and all won. She charges him as he casts calamities. He scorns her striving and states he'll soon smite her, loosing mighty powers liberally, confident with each strike he shall kill her. Yet think of everything each champion has shown. One has walked worlds, hewn horrors, gained great glories. One has simply schemed, sat upon his throne. The valour he faces, Egther fails to see. The fight is harder than any come before. Spells tear the air, and the turgid hall trembles. The heroine gives all she has got and more. One slip would end her, one trip, one stumble. But the fight finishes with the fading fury and failing breath of the Jotun blackguard. The valiant heroine knows victory. Egther can but curse as his life departs. The Norns proclaim this protectress the victor. From Ragnarok is every realm made safe, and ended as the once eternal winter. Sadly, the stronghold swiftly turns unsafe. The saviour flees as fleet as her feet may fly, as the evil keep crumbles and crashes. Outside and safe, she observes with due pride the cheerful conclusion of all her clashes. In less than a week the warmth wends its way back to the land, for spring, though late, has come. All Yarnvadir's folk find good fare for a feast to honour the heroine who has saved them. One by one, each person she paused to aid steps forward and tells their tale to all. Time and again she has assailed dismay, had hopelessness hacked in great ways and small. Her rewards and recognition run rife, ever shall she be the land's exemplar, but soon she must set off to seek out new strife and lengthen her legend in lands lain afar. One final gift is given by Jarl Ilfing, a flying vessel to ferry her hence. So she sets off, in clouds disappearing, and we can only wonder as to whence. 'Tis clear of course that more stories she'll spawn. Truly not all from Yarnvadir I've told, and none can now doubt that when comes her last dawn, she'll journey to Asgard's great halls of gold.